Oh man, long time no see, man. Feel like eternity. Doing it every day. Now we doing it. What was it, like a 5-day break, 4-day break? When we back to it, our NBA playoff picks, baby. And look, I might be a little long-winded today, but you just gotta roll with it. You gotta roll with it. You gotta come with us for the ride, man. Because we gotta set the stage, man. We gotta set the stage. We're gonna give you the playoff pick later, but we gotta set the stage. And how we gonna start by setting the stage? The New York Knicks. What is it? 1999? No, it's 2026, baby. It's 2026, and what that means? The New York Knicks back in the NBA Finals, and they going back up against the Victor Wembanyama 2026 Spurs, man. Oh man, just thought it was 1999, man. What Prince say? Party like it's 1999. I think it was Prince. It was one of them. Oh, they can tell you. It was. I think it was Prince 1999. But oh man, this is a good one. But remember, just stay with me for the ride because I gotta set the stage. Wemby. Oh man, we can talk about the Knicks, but Wemby, shout out to Wemby. Luca is my boy, and Luca is cold, man. Luca is cold. He one of the coldest to ever do it. But Wemby, when it's all said and done, he might be the coldest to do it. Forget Braun, forget Jordan. It might be straight up Wemby. Year 3? And it's his first year of eligibility, honestly speaking, like to really rank him somewhere or to really like go somewhere in the playoffs. His first year, remember his first season, Greg Pop was limiting his minutes. When Greg Pop, the Spurs, they're known, they actually started this low management era, right? Everybody started copying them. Year 2, when we get the blood clots. What are you supposed to do? You got blood clots. You want him to die? I was talking to one of my boys. I'm like, what you want him to play? You gonna die. You got blood clots, man. Those are super serious, man. Now he in year 3. Yeah, he got banged the hand when be healthy, baby. First year, full season. MVP runner-up. Or was he the runner-up or was it yo? I think he was the runner-up, right? He made it. He was a finalist. We know he was a finalist. Defensive player of the year, year 3. First team All NBA. NBA Finals. And then you toppled the champs from last season. You toppled the champs. You toppled the Timberwolves. You toppled the Trailblazers. Trailblazers wasn't a slouchy team. But hey, whatever. The Trailblazers. You beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. You stopped the flopping. I need to take an honorary free throw. I need to get my basketball to take the honorary. We just want to take an imaginary one. And they going up against the New York Knicks in 2026. Yo, you couldn't have wrote that script any better, man. Couldn't have. Knicks in the finals, Wemby in the finals. Like, yo, bro, there's no way the viewing, the viewer rate, the viewership, whatever they call it, the TV ratings aren't not through the roof. The only thing I pray for is no blowouts and no blowouts on either side. I'm rooting for the Knicks. I hope the Knicks win a shit. But I don't even want the Knicks to blow the Spurs out. I want it to be good games every single time. I just, I'll tell you my bias right now. I was a Knicks fan growing up my life. I want to see the Knicks win a championship. New York City going to burn if they do. But, hey, collateral, baby, right? Collateral. I say all this to say let's get to the game, baby. It was a little 3-minute monologue. But you got to, remember, you got to stick with us. You gotta come for the ride, man. How do I think game 1 is going to go? Picking the winner for game 1 is always the toughest game because this is the first time these two teams are matching up. And, these are feeler games. They'll come out, try some gimmicky stuff. They just really want to see what each other is working with. Pause. Now, I think the New York Knicks might try the cat as the hub strategy, unlike they did with the Cleveland Cavaliers. It was more so they really couldn't do it because of how the Cavs was guarding them. I'm not going into detail about that, but I won't. But I think they will start off like that, especially they definitely got to take Cat super out the paint, and they got to keep him, how do I say, at the top of the key or really involved in the action, because you don't want Wemby in a position where he could help. Like, you want to take Wemby out the game. I think they're going to try to get Wemby will not be guarding Karl-Anthony Towns intentionally. I think they'll try to get Wemby on some switches, especially with Cat, just to remove Wemby's presence from the paint. So look out for Mike Brown to try to get Wemby on Cat just to take Wemby out the paint and let the rest of the team work. Now, here's the thing about the Spurs. Yeah, Wemby is their defensive anchor, and he's the defensive guy on the team. They also have a bunch of scrappy young defenders. The key thing, though, they are young. The New York Knicks have never been to the NBA Finals, but This team has been around. This team has been together. This team has stuck together, right? So as much as the Spurs got chemistry, the Knicks got chemistry, and I would call it camaraderie. So I would trust the New York Knicks more in that department when the game plans start to crumble down. Who can trust in their teammates? Who can get the job done with a lot of broken plays? That being said, it's interesting because the New York Knicks, I'm gonna be honest, I love that the Knicks made it to the finals, and it's not to discredit them because you play whoever you play who's in front of you, right? You can't discredit the New York Knicks because you play who's in front of you. The Pistons, they should have beat the Cavs. They was better than the Cavs. The Boston Celtics, they should have beat. Sorry, the not Boston Celtics should have beat the Philadelphia 76ers if they were better than the Sixers, if that makes sense, right? So the only problem is I'm kind of concerned with the Knicks is that are they ready to play like a better team, right? Like legit competition. They are hot, and you always go with the hot hand. It's just hopefully they don't take it for granted and think they could do the same thing they did to the Cavs or the same thing they did to the Sixers with a hurting B or the same thing they did to the Atlanta Hawks, who were just they were just a young team that really was an 8 seed worthy team. Do you do the same thing or do you have that same level of confidence against the San Antonio Spurs? And hopefully, I feel like hopefully they have that same confidence against the Spurs, but they don't treat them like they are those lesser teams. That is the hope and that is the prayer. But I think the New York Knicks, I think they locked in. I think they know they need to get that job done by any means. Mikal Bridges, one of my mans, he was one of them Knicks TV hype joints. He was like, yo, Mikal Bridges, the reason why the Knicks is cooking right now is because Mikal Bridges remember how to play basketball. 100%. Mikal Bridges, we pray that he continues to remember how to play basketball. Mikal Bridges, I'm going to call him he good for a 15 tonight. We just going to keep riding out while he hot. JB, Wemby, I'm expecting cinema, baby. I'm expecting 30 for 30s to average this series. 30 for 30s to average. Wemby ain't on no minutes limits right now, and I'm confident in JB giving these young boys work. Pause, right? Giving them young boys work. Pause. So you might get we going 40 for 40. Wemby, we got to start off game one with a bang. 30 for 30. If you want to be safe, that means Wemby 30 points, JB 30 points. I think 35 to 35 if you want to be a little risky, and 40 for 40 if you expect an absolute cinema. The hope is an OT game tonight. I don't know if it will be OT. I doubt it, but the hope for it is an OT game. New York Knicks take it. I wouldn't put my stock in game one because remember, it's game one. Game one is a filler game for both teams. I would also take the Karl-Anthony Towns assists, at least 6 assists, because I think they will play Karl-Anthony Towns as that hub role. He's going to be the key playmaker because they're going to need to get a lot of switches, get Wemby on him, and get Wemby out the paint. And trust those other guys to make defensive plays instead of Wemby making defensive plays. The New York Knicks also, I saw a few posts. They do got shooters, and they shooters are hot. Hopefully, their shooters remain hot. This should be absolute cinema. This is the moment that all of us basketball fans have been waiting for. Listen, I thought the Knicks wasn't gonna make it to the finals until 2050. I thought I was gonna need grandkids to see the Knicks make the finals and cry in my secret room or something. But hey, your boy 29 and got to see it. I'm happy. I'm proud of the team, and hopefully they could win this series. I would say as an objective person watching the NBA, just as an objective fan, this series could really go either way. Who do I think is the better team? It really depends, right? It depends on what you mean by the better team. If you're talking about just in general, I guess I'd say the Spurs play better, but the Knicks, I guess talent-wise, are the better team. So, like I said, this series can really go either way, and I'm looking forward to a great night, great matchup, and this absolute cinema. So hopefully you stuck along for the ride. Always stick to the end because these are my authentic thoughts, man. We just talking. If you ever got any comment, always just leave it. If you agree with me, you disagree with me, you think I don't know what I'm talking about, go for it. Remember the final plays, we talking about a 30 for 30 with Jalen Brunson, Victor Wembanyama. Oh, I also Karl-Anthony Towns 6 assists if we being safe, 40 for 40 if you really want to go over the top with it. And hey, Carl Anthony Towns triple double just to throw it in there if you're really trying to go over the top and you trying to take your family out of poverty. I say all that to say, man, it's always great giving the plays of the day, and we're gonna do this every single day of the NBA Finals. And I'll catch you on the next one. Always look out for that NBA trivia. We do that through the shorts, we do that in long form, and we do this for the love of the game, baby.